Good day, here are today's top stories from the Pna Headlines. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. is in Malaysia to attend the 46th ASEAN Summit, where he will join other heads of state to discuss the region's developments, measures, and goals. Marcos attended the welcome ceremony for the ASEAN Summit this morning, where he was welcomed by Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim. The president arrived in Malaysia on Sunday afternoon. Throughout the summit, Marcos and other ASEAN leaders will tackle regional and global challenges, including developments in the South China Sea, the Myanmar situation, maritime security, climate change, economic volatility, and digital disruption. For his part, the president will push for an ethical and responsible artificial intelligence regional framework in line with a future-ready ASEAN. He aims to continue advocating an open, inclusive, and rules-based international order and for the peaceful resolution of disputes in accordance with international law. He also said ASEAN leaders seek to formulate a collective response to the United States' new tariffs. President Marcos Jr. also chairs the 16th BIMP EAGA Summit and joins the ASEAN GCC and ASEAN GCC China Summits. The president is expected to hold bilateral meetings with leaders of Laos, Kuwait, and Vietnam. Marcos will also witness the signing of the Kuala Lumpur Declaration on ASEAN 2045. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has reportedly selected the next chief of the Philippine National Police, or PNP, according to the Department of the Interior and Local Government. Interior Secretary John Vic Remulla refused to name the new police chief but said he has a dynamic and good track record. Remulla is hoping that the next PNP chief will have a longer term. He noted that a PNP chief's tenure lasts slightly more than a year, leading to ever-changing vision, directives, and mission statements. He said a PNP chief with a longer tenure would enforce a continuing vision for the police organization. PNP Chief Police General Romel Marbil's term is set to expire on the 7th of June. In February, President Marcos Jr. extended Marbil's term by 4 months beyond his compulsory retirement age of 56. Meanwhile, the Department of Social Welfare has it so far provided 2.1 million pesos worth of relief items to families affected by the intense rainfall in Mindanao. In a news release, the DSWD reported that from May 15 to May 18, the effects of the Intertropical Convergence Zone, or ITCZ, have impacted families from Zamboanga Peninsula, Northern Mindanao, Davao Region, Socsargen, and the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. DSWD spokesperson Irene Dumlao said that in line with President Marcos Jr.'s order, they are coordinating with LGUs to aid and comfort affected families. Last Saturday, the DSWD Socsargen Field Office distributed family food packs to 376 families in flood-hit barangay Poblacion in the municipality of Carmen in Cotabato. Meanwhile, the DSWD in Zamboanga Peninsula also swiftly delivered relief aid to various barangays in Cumalarang, Zamboanga del Sur, which were hit by flash floods and landslides. Meanwhile, in Zamboanga del Norte, DSWD personnel have delivered 1,315 boxes of family food packs to affected residents in Cumalarang and Bacungan municipalities. The DSWD field offices in Mindanao maintain 12 million pesos in standby funds and over 419,000 family food packs in preparation for any disaster response operations. In other news, the spokespersons of the country's budget, welfare, health, and justice agencies topped a nationwide survey by the RP Mission and Development Foundation and RPMD News. The survey for the first quarter of 2025 evaluated government communicators for their clarity, credibility, public trust, and presence during key national developments. Budget Undersecretary Goddess Hope Libiran was named the government's top communicator with an 88.7% performance rating. RPMD recognized Libiran for helping ordinary Filipinos learn and understand complex budget policies. Social Welfare and Development Undersecretary Irene Dumlao meanwhile placed second at 86.5% for showing compassion in her messages during calamities. Palace Press Officer Attorney Claire Castro is at third place with 84.9%, while Justice Assistant Secretary Miko Clavano scored 84.6% at fourth place. The other officials who round up the top 10 are Health Assistant Secretary Albert Domingo, Coast Guard Spokesperson Jay Tariela, National Security Council Undersecretary Jonathan Malaya, PNP Brigadier General Jean Fajardo, Attorney Camille Ting of the Supreme Court, Foreign Affairs Spokesperson Teresita Daza, Immigration Spokesperson Dana Sandoval, and Colonel Margaret Padilla of the Armed Forces of the Philippines or AFP. RPMD Executive Director Dr. Paul Martinez said the rankings reflect the public's growing demand for informed discourse towards a more transparent, responsive, and accountable government. And in our business news, the Department of Agriculture and the Food and Drug Administration have strengthened their collaboration on the regulation and rollout of vaccines for avian influenza and African swine fever. The DA said officials of the Bureau of Animal Industry and FDA met on May 19 to discuss updates on ASF and bird flu vaccine candidates in line with President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s directive to protect the swine and poultry sectors. It said that there are several vaccine candidates that have already been endorsed to the FDA for further evaluation and finally approval. Both agencies are optimistic that ASF and AI vaccines will be available for commercial rollout before the end of 2025. Meanwhile, the DA and the Department of Tourism are also partnering to promote food and farm tourism in the country. The DA said the partnership aims to draw in more foreign tourists, boost domestic travel, and advance President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s agenda of revitalizing the countryside. Agriculture Secretary Francisco Q. Laurel Jr. highlighted plans to rehabilitate the Banawe rice terraces to allow more tourists to appreciate them. He also lined up initiatives to improve organic farming, livestock production, aquaculture, as well as infrastructure. Tourism Secretary Cristina Garcia Frasco meanwhile outlined collaboration in gastronomy, tourism development, farm tourism expansion, infrastructure and connectivity, and strengthening local supply chains. The partnership will focus on pilot areas such as Bohol, Iloilo, and Benguet, which are provinces rich in culinary heritage, cultural attractions, and agricultural productions. And those are the latest and the biggest stories from the Pna Headlines. For more news updates, visit our website pna.gov.ph or our Facebook and X account, Philippine News Agency. The Pna Headlines is also streamed via the Servicio Facebook page. You may also watch the Pna Headlines through the Philippine News Agency's YouTube account and via the News and Information Bureau website under Pna News. I am William Theo. This is the Pna Headlines, bringing you stories that unite the nation.